Hi, I'm Alex, and in today's video I want to talk about living with generalised anxiety disorder, specifically what I'm going through right now. So if you're subscribed to this channel before, you've probably not subscribed because of my first video, though some of you will have done, where I talk about my YouTube anxiety. I'll leave a link to that above me now and in the description. But one of the things I have with YouTube and other social media platforms is it's very often an idealised version of people's lives. All the best bits, all the holidays, all the nice things, and most people, although some YouTubers do, just don't cut and don't show the worst bits and the struggles that they really have in life. And I think that can lead to a lot of people struggling. And I'm not in this video pretending to be any expert with anxiety disorders, and it is something I'm struggling with myself personally. But I want to put this out there because if you are struggling or know someone who's struggling with generalised anxiety disorder, or you don't know what it is, just wanted to put this out there to try and help, to try and let you know that you're not alone, or that the person suffering with this isn't alone. So without going into any great detail as to what generalised anxiety disorder is, essentially it's when you feel overly anxious for a prolonged period of time for no particular reason. So anxiety is pretty common, we all get anxiety, it's unnatural not to feel anxious at certain points. However, with generalised anxiety disorder, it's when you feel anxious very often, in my case daily, over a period of months. And that's something that I've felt for quite some time now. It's getting a little bit worse at the moment, so I'm looking to get a few more techniques. And actually, I'm going to use a slight analogy here. So one of the things that I'm using to deal with my higher than normal levels of anxiety is exercise. So I went out for a 100-kilometre bike ride yesterday, or it was supposed to be a 100-kilometre bike ride. And my bike has electronic gears. It's not an electric bike, but the gears are electronic, so they just use some battery and it makes it a very nice experience. So I got about 30 kilometres into my bike ride and I'd lost about half of my gears because I'd forgotten to charge my electronic gears. Now, this hasn't happened to me before, so I didn't know what the experience was going to be like. It was frustrating losing half of my gears, but didn't really stop me from continuing. And I continued to ride. It was actually a group ride, and it went quite well until the last 20 kilometres when I lost all but my last gear, my lowest gear, which meant I couldn't go very fast at all. So I was limited to pedalling about 15 kilometres an hour or 10 miles an hour. And it was an extremely difficult, slightly worrying last 20 odd kilometres back to the house. Now, I felt that this was very, very relevant for how I was feeling, because in life, very often we have certain plans. We want certain things to go a certain way. We expect them to go a certain way. And sometimes we just need to keep on going and look for different ways to deal with situations as they come along. Now, I managed to make it back to the house. I didn't manage my 100 kilometres. I only managed 97.88 kilometres, but who's counting? But I think for me, the really important thing is the fact that I got through that tough bike ride. I then charged up the battery, so it's all working now, all fully charged. And I was trying to save money when I got the bike and didn't get a Bluetooth attachment for these electronic gears, which meant I didn't know what the battery percentage was at. I think it saved about £100. So when I got back, one of the first things I did was call up the bike shop and say, please, can you fit this Bluetooth attachment so that I can know what the battery level is like on the bike, so that won't happen again. So that's booked in on Wednesday. And I hope for me that analogy or that real life experience means a lot, because sometimes when we're suffering with generalised anxiety disorder, it isn't just a case of keeping on doing what you're doing. You do need to make differences. You do need to make changes. At the same time, it's important for me to keep on moving, keep that forward momentum, even if it isn't as fast as we always want it to be. So I just wanted to film this video and put this message out there to say that, look, very often in the world of YouTube, in the world of social media in general, people's lives aren't perfect. In fact, nobody's lives are perfect, and a reasonable percentage of people are suffering with differing levels of anxiety, and that you're not alone. Now, I'd say I don't proclaim to be any sort of expert. It's something I'm living with and dealing with myself. If you really are struggling, please take this opportunity to seek out some medical help. Go speak to your local general practitioner or some medical expert in this field, because there are talking therapies out there which I'm personally looking into. There are also medication options as well, depending on your needs and what's best for you. So if you've got any questions or any thoughts, please leave them in the comments. I'm not planning on turning this channel into a regular, week in, week out anxiety channel. I'm planning going back to my normal content, around tablets and technology and all stuff that really does excite me. But I've been struggling to film a YouTube video more than usual, and I wanted to push myself to put this message out there. So I hope that's been of some use, and if you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments. Until next time, I've been Alex. Thanks for watching.